Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Film Box Podcast, the movie podcast where each week we reach onto our shelves and dive into the films we own on physical media, whether it's a beloved classic we've watched countless times or a hidden gem we're experiencing for the very first time. From VHS and DVD to Blu-ray and 4K, we revisit, rewatch, and re-examine films throughout history, good or bad. I'm your host, Aaryn Souza, and I'm joined today by my good friends, Connor Jasmine. That's your name, Connor Jameson and Jasmine Chapatwala. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How many years of friendship?
I know. And today we are taking a look at the brand new movie Project Hail Mary starring Ryan Gosling and Sandra. Let's get into it. All right, Connor. Project Hail Mary's here. I mispronounced your name. It's all good. We're here. So I wanted to start with this for you. Where does Ryan Gosling rank as a leading man?
High up there. I think he is someone who you can take and throw into almost any type of project, and you are going to get a phenomenal movie because he can just do pretty much anything. He's a great action lead. We're seeing it now as he's kind of working a lot more with like comedic roles. It's really good there as well. Obviously, earlier in his career, he was doing a lot more like stoic work too.
Yeah, a lot more
doing
indie stuff.
Yeah, and dramas. So, I mean, he's up there. He's so versatile.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to run down a few things from his filmography here. And Jasmine, you can also weigh in, please, on how you feel about Ryan Gosling.
Okay, I love Ryan Gosling. I don't know if you can even see behind me. I have like my little Ryan Gosling like partial corner in
you have a corner.
Yeah, Barbie, La La Land, The Nice Guys is up there. I'm
fantastic.
a huge fan. Yeah, he's probably he's like my second favorite actor.
Oh wow!
He's
So
on my Mount Rushmore too.
Yeah,
he's gotten up there for me. I mean, he's just proven to be a really good, consistent actor. It's amazing that he doesn't have an Academy Award.
I mean,
I think so too.
yeah, I know we're just getting out of Oscar season though, and it's hard to switch out of that mindset. But once you just forget about Oscars, it's so much nicer to just appreciate the guy and just like everything.
He's so charming.
I know.
He's just good at like being that guy, like in the way that I feel like we almost want to assign Glenn Powell that, but he just can be, if that makes sense.
I think that's actually a really good comparison. I think Glenn Powell really wants to be Tom Cruise, but in reality, the lane that he should be trying to go down is Ryan Gosling.
Absolutely. So I just want to run down some of his movies from his filmography because it's kind of crazy. So started off in his career, Remember the Titans in 2000. I mean, what a start. And then follows that up with The Notebook in 2004 and becomes an instant icon. And then he does like a string of indie films. You've got Half Nelson in there. You've got Lars and the Real Girl, which is a crazy movie. Blue Valentine with Michelle Williams. He does Crazy Stupid Love, Drive, and The Ides of March all in 2011. That's nuts. The Place Beyond the Pines, Gangster Squad, and then all of a sudden in 2015 does The Big Short, The Nice Guys, La La Land, all back to back, and we're off at that point. I mean, he's just a superstar there. And then he does Blade Runner 2049. He does First Man. He does Barbie. He does Project Hail Mary, and now he's got a Star Wars movie coming. I mean, this guy, he's crazy. He can do it all.
He may be the reason I give this Star Wars movie a chance.
Oh,
yeah. Honestly, if you put anyone else in that, I mean, I'm not gonna watch it until it's probably streaming, but anyone else in that, I give it no shot.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I give it a shot because Tom Cruise is now taking over.
Speaking of Tom Cruise, how about the news? Have you seen the news that he might be he's in talks to play the villain in the new Miami Vice movie with Austin Butler and Michael B. Jordan?
Yes.
Dude, come
Listen,
on. Give
I
it
think
to me.
Mission Impossible ending is probably the best thing to happen to him since starting Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Honestly, it's kind of like he's been wanting to I don't know if he's just been wanting to like expand out his reach again, but like, you know, you've got Digger coming this year, and now he's like, oh, I might do Miami Vice and play a villain, and it's like, why haven't you been doing this for 20 years? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. I also wanted to talk about Lord and Miller. So this movie is directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, 21 Jump Street fame, Lego Movie, Spider-Verse. How do you guys feel about Lord and Miller?
Honestly, I really like them. For me, like of the filmography, you know, you mentioned some real bangers, but Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, awesome. It's great.
Amazing film. But I think they're like a great pairing. That's I was a little surprised to see them do this just because I feel like it's not exactly the wheelhouse. But then once I saw the movie, I was like, no, this is exactly who I would want to make this movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Connor, I know you're a big Spider-Verse fan.
Yes. I'm also a big Jump Street fan. Those were like some of my favorite comedy movies, like when I was still trying to like figure out what I liked in movies. I like them. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot deeper than that. I mean,
no,
I just have like a good grasp of what I like.
Yeah, no, I think it's very true. All right, well, we are going to dive all into Project Hail Mary, but first we got to talk about what we've been watching lately. So, Jasmine, I will start with you. What's been on the agenda?
So, the Oscars last week had me just like trying to bang out a bunch of movies as quickly as I could. So I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, which I hadn't seen yet.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome movie. Once I heard the song, I was like, it's gonna win. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never watch it again.
Good movie,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's
I'll
tough.
never watch it again. I saw Undertone, the A24. Yeah. Train Dreams, I finally got around to seeing.
Hey.
I was waiting for my sister to be in town. We love to watch sad movies together. So as soon as she was here, I was like, we are watching Train Dreams, and we both loved it. That's
it's good.
Incredible. Project Hail Mary, of course. And then Ready or Not 2, Here I Come.
How is it? So I've heard
fine.
Okay.
Ooh.
I was gonna say I've heard mostly good things.
So from what I understand, I was recently given the information that apparently they had an entirely different script written with a lead for Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton. And then they were like, you know, we should just put this in the Ready or Not 2 universe. And then they like rewrote everything. And like tried to fit it in. And it definitely feels like that's exactly what they did.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard, I wasn't a fan of that movie getting a sequel to start.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a movie that needed more, but
it picks up like immediately after the first one.
Okay.
Like like when I tell you she's on the steps and then that's it. But I mean, I agree with you. I think that for a movie like a sequel to be like good, it needs to prove that it should exist. And I don't really think it did that.
Yeesh. That's tough.
Yeah. That's tough. Great cast though. It was entertaining.
Yeah. Do you have anything to drink this morning?
I do. I have Emergency.
No,
the ginger and turmeric strain of it. Yeah, that one.
Strain?
Yeah.
It's a disease.
Yes, exactly.
Probably feels like a disease going down.
It's not fun.
Let's see. So I have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 movies since we last did our rundown. Starting off with I just needed something to watch, so I watched The Devil Wears Prada. I don't know if I said that last time or not, but I did. I watched it. I was like doing other things, working on my computer and stuff like that. So I just need something to put on the background. And that was the one. And it's a great movie. Follow that up. Just as like a little teaser, Connor and I are planning an episode later this year around Steven Spielberg. So I watched the Sugarland Express as I'm starting to dive into some of the films of his that I have not seen. Quite an interesting movie. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And then I dove into some rom-coms because I've been in that kind of mood. I recently watched Set It Up, and it's kind of had me feeling in that kind of mood. So I watched Plus One from 2019, which I had not seen before. That was really good. I really liked that one. And then I watched The Threesome from last year, right after it, which I liked a little bit less, but I still thought it was decent. Then I watched To Live and Die in L.A. It was a first-time watch for me. That was a masterpiece, 5-star classic. K-pop Demon Hunters, The Day of the Oscars, because I hadn't seen it yet. The movie's a banger. After the Oscars, I rewatched last year's Best Picture winner, Anora. It still hits. It's really good. Then I watched Dune, and then I watched Project Hail Mary last night.
Nice.
That's what we got. And I'm almost done with Dune Part 2. I've seen it so many times, but I had to put it back on. Honestly, Dune, the original Dune, better than I remember. Even though I've seen it recently, I enjoyed it a lot more on like the fourth rewatch.
I think once you have like Dune 2 in the mind, and like obviously it's a lot more action packed, you kind of forget just how like it's like really well written. It's just a lot more like dialogue heavy.
Yes, it's a lot more explaining.
It's exposition, setting everything up. I mean, I still like Dune a lot too, as well.
Yeah, and then I just have water.
Nice.
So, I've watched 12 movies since we've last recap. It was almost a movie a day, basically. Yeah, on my Tom Cruise grind. Mentioned him like 4 times on this pod now. Started off Body Double. I think I'm still gonna try to do the Criterion Challenge, but I'm falling behind. But that was one of my that was one of my entries. Not my favorite De Palma, but I still like it. It just is what it is. Then I watched Little Fish, devastating. The Secret Agent. I always want to watch as many Oscar movies as I can, but this year I just couldn't. So then I just said, let me just watch the Best Picture ones. And The Secret Agent's very good. Then I watched Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Just balls to the wall on that one. Primate. It's fun. Good kills there, but not too much more. War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah, that one more fun than I thought until it turned into just propaganda at the end. But like it's like Predator meets like Terminator a little bit.
Interesting.
But then they're like, hey, everyone enlist in the Marines now.
Ooh, that's tough.
And then I did something that I don't think I've ever done before besides like Top Gun Maverick. I saw Undertone on like a Friday night, and then I saw it again Saturday morning.
Wow.
And I think it's pretty good, not because I thought it was like anything crazy special, just because I was like, I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, and I know you've seen it, Jasmine. It just Did it feel like a little anticlimactic at the end?
Yes, and that's because I feel like there's 2 different ways to take it.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, but neither one is fleshed out enough.
Yeah,
and then if you try to connect them, anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say the first time I was like, okay, like it's very scary. I want to just get that out there. Like it's a sensory overload, which gets me a lot more than just like typical jump scares. But with that one, it was just like the storylines that they were trying to convey, I was like trying to see how they're going to end, and they end kind of like a short film would end. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, did I miss something? And then I
Facts.
watched it again. I'm like, no, I didn't miss anything. They just ended like that.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good movie, but left a little meat on the bones.
Hmm. I
Uh,
completely agree with that.
yeah. Then I watched F1 the day of the Oscars. Um, it's fun. I mean, is it a best
Hell yeah.
picture movie? Probably not.
Probably
But
not.
like, man,
It
we'll
is
talk.
fun.
We'll talk about it with Project Hail Mary, but just something about like the human spirit succeeding. It gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
tear
one
up.
of those movies, like the big criticism I've seen on that movie constantly is that like the storyline is weak and Brad Pitt's not great in it.
Sure.
But like who cares? Who gives
Cars
a
are
shit,
going
man?
fast, man.
Yeah.
It's an old
Honestly,
guy
I could
winning.
care less.
Like when Jodie Comer's like, he's flying. I was like, damn right he is.
Dude, just the opening scene. The opening scene when who is it? What song is it that comes on? It's Led Zeppelin, I'm pretty sure. Or is it Black Sabbath? I don't remember. But
Oh,
when
sorry,
they
it's
have the
Carrie
needle,
Condon, by the way, not Jodie Comer.
yeah.
I always get them
Yes.
confused.
Carrie Condon. When they like needle drop the opening scene as he goes to race, I'm like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. This is
Yeah,
it.
when Don Toliver came on like halfway through, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, no, it's one of those movies that like it's designed to be fun and really well made technically, very strong below the line type of work.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really care about, like, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel with the story. Like, that's not the most important part.
Yeah, it's Days of Thunder but souped up.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun. But then after the Oscars, double featured, one battle after another in Sinners. I mean, just
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I watched you log that on Letterboxd. I was like, this dude's in his bag right now.
yeah, it's just like I was working from home, slow day. I was like, let's have a day. And then I watched Project Hail Mary again.
Fantastic.
Oh wow.
And what do you have to drink?
One of the Dunkin' Energies, zero
Ooh.
sugar.
Oh, those are so good.
It is. I just don't think I like
Surprisingly,
this.
yes.
Yeah, I don't like this flavor, but they are very good.
All right, well, let's talk about Project Hail Mary. So if you are not familiar, this movie is out in theaters right now. So you can watch it in theaters. It just came out yesterday as we are recording this, the March 20th. But this is a 2026 science fiction adventure film written directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller of 21 Jump Street and the Lego Movie and Spider-Verse and Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs fame, and written by Drew Goddard, who also wrote The Martian and wrote Cloverfield and directed The Cabin in the Woods, which, Connor, I know is one of your favorite movies, horror movies. Cinematography.
He also wrote most of like Daredevil too.
Maybe I didn't look that far. Let's see. Let's look at his. Let's look. He created Daredevil. Yep, in 2015, and directed several episodes of The Good Place.
He's a good screenwriter.
Yeah. This movie is shot by Greg Fraser. You might know him from Dune or The Batman or Rogue One or The Creator. This guy knows how to shoot sci-fi. This guy's fucking incredible. Distributed by Amazon MGM, released March 20th, 2026 with a runtime of 156 minutes, had an estimated budget of 190 to 200 million dollars. And friends, I will ask you, what do you think the projections are for its gross?
I thought I saw like opening weekend was like 12 mil, but that could be outdated by now. It's probably outdated.
For opening weekend?
Yes.
Or okay. I'm I want to go 15. I feel like it's got some solid
Mm, solid
backing to
juice.
it.
You
Yeah.
guys are way under. So it made 12 mil in Thursday previews.
That's
Oh,
I
wow.
knew I saw 12 somewhere.
Yeah. It's tracking domestic between 65 and 80 million dollars, and
Perfect.
suppose it's going to be around 100 million dollars worldwide
Good.
Lovely.
on opening weekend. Um this is going to be a hit. It's going to be a huge hit. Just for context, I believe it was Oppenheimer first weekend was right around 80 million opening weekend. So we're talking Oppenheimer levels of big here. Which is great. But so that's the production details behind this movie. But Connor, you got to tell us what the people thought about Project Hail Mary.
Well, if the box office means anything, people are loving it, and it's reflected in the scores. It's 95% with the critics, 97% with audiences. You want to take a guess at what it's sitting at on IMDb?
I thought I read IMDb
Mm-hmm.
like an 8,
No,
8.4.
Just a little more, 8.5.
Woo!
wow.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
pretty good. So we like to go to our friends over at Ebert for our first review. They gave it a 2.5 out of 4.
Yeah, they're just nonsense. This is just absolute nonsense.
So this is Robert Daniel, who says, with Project Hail Mary, the directing duo Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, working with the star power of Ryan Gosling, have made what could be described as TV dinner sci-fi. There's a slight warmth to the reheated meal that elicits a few tears, even with a hint of overcooked cellophane. Their journey that makes the expected visual nods to sci-fi classics and it attempts to offer some blockbuster spectacle. But the harder the film tries, the more one feels pulled along rather than effortlessly transported.
Nonsense. That's just words. They're not even saying anything.
crazy.
It's just words.
Yeah, no.
I guess to summarize, they just felt like it tried too hard and did not get the emotional reaction they hoped.
What do you have, like a bad steak
Yeah.
at dinner? Like, what in the world is this guy's issue?
I don't know.
I don't like
I
that.
think so. I guess off of that, I do feel like when you have, and this is, I know we've talked about a lot of like book to screen adaptations. I do feel like sometimes if you have like such a strong feeling towards the book, sometimes a movie will never live up to the expectations, no matter how good it can be. So you are set up for failure that way. I'm not going to say that that's this circumstance, but that could happen.
I mean, I also just think too that like sometimes not every movie is everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
This is someone who might have been going in expecting like Star Wars Dune level spectacle. Maybe they're not familiar with the book or Interstellar, but instead they got like the focus of the movie is so much different than those. Like it's about space and about science, but it's really about this relationship between these two people who find themselves alone and
it's not
out
two
in
people.
the vastness of space. Well, okay, two beings, two friends, two pals.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you go in with the expectation that like I'm gonna see Star Wars or I'm gonna see Interstellar level, like they're gonna be like doing all kinds of stuff, and then you get like more buddy movie, I can see where you would be disappointed, but also doesn't make the movie bad. It's just different than your expectations.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I have a friend who I won't name on here because I don't need to cancel him, who was like, yeah, I did not really, like this movie that much. I was like, what? How did you not? He's like, the whole point of the movie is they need to save Earth from the sun dying. And I feel like those stakes weren't there. And I'm like, what are you? No, you missed it. You'd missed the actual point of the movie. He's like, no, that's what he's trying to do. Why else is he in space? And I'm like, no.
Well, it's funny you bring up stakes because we have our opposite review, which
Yes.
comes from Don't Come to the Cinema Depressed, who says, almost completely absent of the feeling of stakes. So maybe this is your friend.
Maybe.
Who
Big words for my friend.
Oh, God.
maybe we do need to help them.
Damn.
But they said, and this is a bit of a long one, so strap in. Just got out of a screening for Project Hail Mary. The stakes were fumbled. They completely fumbled the stakes, if you didn't get that. This isn't great at all. I wouldn't even call it good. They should have went way more into the science of it all. The film was at times amusing, at times mildly interesting, and at other times really boring. The space scenes were okay, but I've seen better. I really like looking at the green and orange planet. One of the major problems with this film is the stakes. Why are filmmakers showing us scenes of setting up for the mission, meeting about the mission, forcing him to do the mission, and simultaneously showing scenes of just about to complete already completed the main damn mission? Who thought that was a bright idea? Apparently, this is how it's formatted in the book. Well, guess what? That doesn't work in film. The feeling of stakes were almost completely absent. The subject matter is meant to be deadly serious stakes when absolute whiff of a film. So I don't know if you caught that. I don't think they liked how the stakes were handled.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand that opinion, because like it's set up, I think, pretty well.
Yeah.
And also, you know, part of the story is that he doesn't remember who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and why he's in space. And so, you know, you get that as you go along. And I think for people who aren't familiar with the book, I feel like they do a good job of you know, that major concept in the book being that he can't remember, and they put it on screen pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's not like he can go faster.
Yeah, right. He's kind of just, you know, like, he's there.
He is light years away.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if he does go like a little faster, he's a little more urgent. He is still decades away from delivering anything back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the stakes are there because it's a man in a spaceship 11 light years away from Earth. Like, that's pretty big stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humanity is resting on him.
Yeah. And they make that I don't know. It's just some people just really need it like spelled out. It's like it's the Netflix thing, you know. They've been in the news again.
No. They said it's not them.
Even it's nonsense.
Even though it was not, they were not directly named. They took it upon themselves to name themselves.
Yeah. No,
Crazy.
it's nonsense. You know, some people just really need it spoon fed to them and be like, you know, they probably would have thought the stakes would have been better addressed if Sandra Hüller in the like every flashback was like, the fate of humanity rests on your hands, Ryland Grace. And if they had just said that, they'd be like, the stakes are huge.
Yeah,
they're there.
They'd be like, wow, I really felt like, you know, it was that serious, but
yeah.
You know.
Now I'm thinking of like the Sterling K. Brown bit of him playing the piano. Wow, so you're in space on this life or death mission, huh?
Literally
11 light years away.
Could the stakes be any higher?
And what is this you're getting? It's a star eater, huh? Isn't the sun a star? Huh.
Wow. All right, let's Connor, why don't you bring us through the brief plot before we get into what works?
Yeah. So this is just
also before you do that, blanket spoiler, we are going to be talking about this movie in depth. We've already kind of discussed it a little bit, but we haven't really spoiled anything. So if you haven't seen the movie, pause this, watch the movie, come back. Okay, Connor, please. Now we can enter spoiler territory.
Yeah, so this is it watered down from IMDb. Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up alone on a spaceship light years away from Earth. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance from killing the sun and save Earth. An unexpected friendship may be the key. That's it.
Fantastic.
Love it. That was actually perfect.
Thank you.
How'd you feel about the stakes?
They weren't high enough for me, man.
All right. So I'll just start you off with Ryan Gosling. We can just kind of hit it at the top. He's really, really good in this movie as Ryland Grace. Kind of embodies everything that I imagined he would be in the book. So he's a really good performance.
Yeah. I mean, just like the writing style and like for Andy Weir is very hit or miss for a lot of people. And I feel like that kind of comedic style works only for certain people to like portray it. And I feel like he's one of the only people who could. Like that kind of sarcastic maybe only really works for like the millennial Reddit phase, but it worked for him.
I mean, he's really good, and he has to carry a lot of this movie too. I mean, there's a lot of just him by himself, or him with Rocky, and he has to be kind of the heavy lifter, and he does an excellent job doing that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I just want to touch on right at the top, the practical sets. They absolutely nailed it. This is, part of the reason why I've really fallen in love with this movie is because it feels so real. Like everything in that ship is built. They built the entire ship, the Project Hail Mary, like on a soundstage, all of the interiors. So everything in that ship is tactile. You feel like you can interact with it, and you're not just like in a green screen in a space where he's not actually going to be holding or touching everything. Like the cockpit, you can touch all the buttons. All of the lab stuff is all there. So it really lends a real sense of interaction and a sense of realism that you just don't get with, green screening. And they didn't use any green screening on this movie at all. And you get that. It feels more old school than stuff that we have now.
To build off that,
the
cinematography of this movie is just chef kiss. It's the space scenes are shot so damn well. Again, we're in the spoilers. The scene of when they're on Adrian, as they called it, the green orange planet, and they are sampling for the Petrova line. And it switches from that to I told you guys that there was a scene that made me moan in theaters. That was
that was it.
The second time I watched it, I teared up. I didn't moan, I teared. It was so goddamn beautiful.
Yeah.
Just everything about this movie is shot so well. I mean,
they do a lot of really interesting stuff with the camera, a lot of use of reflections, a lot of real close-ups, heavy close-ups, a lot of use of color, which again you don't get to do if you're not working on like a practical set. Like if you're just working in green screen, it'd be like everything's backlit, you don't get a lot of like nuance to it, right? Or depth. Like here we're getting ultra close-ups on Ryan Gosling. We're getting him looking out the window and seeing reflections. We're getting, all of these different kinds of shots that are just so cool. The scene where Rocky tells him, or he says that he's accepted that he's gonna die, and then Rocky tells him like, I can give you fuel, and like Ryan Gosling is like caked in shadow in that doorway. It's like you don't get that without being on a practical set, and it's everything is done so incredibly well and with such a purpose that's just amazing. Jasmine, what did you have? What did you like?
Oh, so many things. I'll start with I love the practicality of it. Like you were saying, the fact that Rocky is a puppet, I think is awesome.
Yes. Let's talk
That's
Rocky.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had to say, yeah, Rocky.
Yeah.
But the fact that he is a puppet, I was saying, I genuinely think that that translates so well versus like the CG. I think that that's what makes this film also like stand apart because it just has that like texture to it. You know, you can't capture that with CG. One of the main things that really worked for me was their problem solving skills
Yeah.
and the way that that was like completely accessible despite it being like sci-fi. I know that can be like slightly daunting for some people when it's like, oh, I gotta try and figure all this math and science out of my head. But no, when they're problem solving together, it's smart, but it's also like very fun. They do it in a way where you don't feel like they're treating the audience like we're dumb, but we can understand the purpose of what they're trying to figure out. And the way that they work together, it's like two halves, making it all like come together. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah. One of my favorite things, like on that point, that they did in the adaptation is that like the science is really accessible, because in the book, Connor, and you know this, the science can get a lot at times. It can get very complicated. There's a lot of equations and like legitimate like science formulation in the book, and they kind of took all that and said like, what are the key elements of this and how can we distill it for a general audience? And I think they do a great job, because you still get all the key points of, you know, the astrophage, and they're in space and they've got to figure out why it's eating the sun, and they've got to find a solution, and you know, all of those things. And they make it like, here's, you know, a 10-year-old could follow this, but also like a 50-year-old could follow this just as easily and have a great time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not easy to do, especially when the book is so deeply rooted in like heavy science.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped over it, but let's actually talk about Rocky.
Yeah.
Because Rocky is one of the best characters I think we're gonna see in sci-fi in the last of the last like 25 years. Em is staring at me because she loved Rocky. She absolutely fell in love with Rocky.
Or the
I
pillow?
probably will.
Got it.
She texted me as we were starting this. She said, it was so good, Rocky good too statement, Rocky Rocky Rocky.
Amaze.
I mean, he's just a great character, and like, to your point, the fact that he's, you know, a practical puppet on set, it's easy to act with something that's actually there. Which I think makes Ryan Gosling's work easier. But also, you know, you actually get a real camaraderie. You know, the scenes where they hug feel real.
Yeah.
You know, they're actually interacting together. And also, I love that they found the voice of Rocky through that performance while they were doing, you know, the James Ortiz, I believe it is.
Yeah.
He was the puppeteer for Rocky. And as they were filming, they just developed this rapport, and they were like, well, you should be the voice.
Oh,
of
that's
Rocky.
perfect.
You know, so then they recorded the voice lines for it. So I just love that. I think it's, you know, you don't get that if you're just going full CG.
Agreed.
Also, Ray Porter, the audiobook reader, did provide voices for when they were doing the Rocky voice test scene. He provided some of the other voices, and that was actually Meryl Streep in their Meryl Streep scene.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad that they gave Ray Porter like a spot, because everyone, whenever anyone talks about the book, they always say listen to the audiobook. And I know he was at the premiere and like they gave him a lot of shine, but he does such a phenomenal job in the audiobook.
Yeah.
Just kind of going off of like more of the sound stuff, the score might be one of my favorite pieces of this movie as well. Like, if you want to talk about something that just perfectly punctuates every moment, every emotional moment, score is right there to accentuate every beat. The stressful moments, you've got like this kick-ass score highlighting it. It's got great whimsy when Rocky and Grace are kind of just like exploring stuff and doing their science. It just nails every moment it needs to. It really just highlights every moment it needs to and elevates the film for me.
Yeah, M actually downloaded and listened to the soundtrack on the way home from the theater, so it's a pretty good testament to it. Yeah, that's a great point. All right, Jasmine, give me something else that you liked.
Okay, I have the memory loss structure. I think that works really well for the film, specifically because they do have to do a bit of exposition in it. Like overall, just to understand the story, it's a lot, but the exposition is like kind of drip fed. It's like slowly through the flashbacks and the way that the memory structure, like memory loss structure works. You're able to get the information without being told it just straight up all at once.
Yep.
And I like that too, because I think it works to build the tension. And there's like, you're constantly recontextualizing like what you know. Because what you know is he wakes up with no memory and you know he's in space. And the way that everything is like being like, you know, shown to us and how we can understand, you almost feel like you're waiting to see him become that guy that's like, I'm going to space. Just for the plot twist to be like,
he wasn't the guy.
Yeah, but
I love that they kept that from the book. It's such a great moment for that character, and then it like you said, it kind of recontextualizes everything else that you've seen in the movie.
Yeah, I think that works so well for it too, because it's, you know, 2.5 hours, whatever, but there's never like a point where I'm like uninterested in what's going on in the story. So yeah, I have that. It's like a major thing for me that really worked for it. And I think a lot of times memory loss, like it can be tricky, but this is like executed seamlessly, this story.
It's honestly, it's even better in the book.
So. I've been listening to the book. So I started listening to the book, and because I have the image of Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace, I feel like it almost makes it better. Like I'm doing it the opposite way, like listening to the book after, but I can't, like, I'm listening to it now. I'm like, yeah, no, there is no one else I could picture. It would have to be Ryan Gosling.
For sure. One of the things I really liked here, I liked how all of the new scenes that they added, the ones that weren't pulled from the book, were all good additions to the film. Sandra Hüller singing "Sign of the Times" was a great addition. The Earth screen room was great. And then being able to see Rocky's ship too was, you know, all of those things are very smart additions that I am glad that they put in, and they didn't feel unnecessary.
Yeah.
Building off what you said there, I mean, Sandra Hüller is, I think she gives a very nuanced performance here as Strahd. Because her character, she has like the weight of the world on her shoulders, basically. Like she's leading this task force to save the world. She has to figure out how to save the sun, enlisting everyone all over the world, and then she also has to put the emotional aspect of basically sending people up there to die aside. And you brought up the Sign of the Times karaoke bit. I thought that was like a great scene for her of showing more of that personable side of, there's a lot of optimism here too. It's not just business. It's still, I'm a person. We are all trying to accomplish the same goal. And yeah, I think she's really good too.
Yeah, that side of it was missing from the book, I think, where like Strat in the book is very like business oriented, like kind of cold hearted, but in like, you know, in that sort of, you know, I'm saving the world and this is how it is kind of way. And like it needed just one scene of like pure humanity,
because it makes the scene when, I mean, we could talk about the twist, because that, or not even the twist, but like when she has to send Grace up, like the moment in the book is very like, it like hits you like a train basically too, because it's just out of nowhere. But in the movie adaptation of it, now that you've seen them kind of get closer, it hits even harder because you could even hear in her voice. It's kind of like
Don't
there's a
make me
little
do this
struggle.
kind of thing.
It's struggle.
Yeah.
It's not even like don't make me do this. It's like I have to do this. I can't
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it, but I am sorry I have to do this. It just adds to what was already like a very devastating moment. And it just made it a lot more devastating.
Absolutely.
I agree.
One more thing, small thing for me that really worked is just how they portrayed astrophage.
Yeah.
How it was depicted. You know, having a microscopic being as a major part of your film is not an easy thing to actually depict, and I thought they handled it really well. It worked.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Anything else you guys want to touch on before we go to what doesn't work?
I mean, comedy's good. I feel like in kind of more the low key moments. Like honestly, the biggest thing that got a laugh from me was when they first got to the government first got to him, and he's like kind of stumbling around. So he's just like looking at a kid walking behind him. He's like, "Ryan, stop running!" And the kid's just like, "I'm not."
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
But yeah, the comedy is really good. A lot of the physical comedy really works for me too.
Jasmine, anything else for you?
I mean, the visuals, obviously, we touched on that. The visuals are unreal. Yeah, I pretty much feel like we covered all
Fantastic.
of it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what doesn't work. Do either of you have things that don't work in this movie? Because I have a couple.
I've got a couple as well.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Go ahead, Connor.
I think, and maybe I was trying to prep for this moment when I was talking through the Ebert review. I do think some of the emotional moments from the book didn't carry over as well. Specifically, like when Rocky saves Grace, that moment and like basically sacrifices himself to do it. That moment, like reading it, full tears. Watching it, did not get that reaction.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a better job establishing why Rocky leaving his pod would be detrimental to him.
It's like a throwaway line, like I think Grace says, like his atmosphere is deadly to me, mine's deadly to him. I think it's more of like, you know, you have all like these flashing lights, you can't really see what's happening. You kind of just are more like hearing it. But like I teared up more from the visuals than like from the story.
Yep.
Although like the moment of when Rocky's like, you can go home, like I have enough to get you home.
That was
it got me. It's just like I was expecting to cry a bit more.
Yeah.
From like the actual story.
Yeah, I on that vein a little bit. Some of the dialogue is a little bit cringy.
Definitely.
I mean, to be expected with, you know, when you're adapting comedy, sometimes some of your lines don't always translate the best.
Especially his writing.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's a bit of a, but it was a pretty good hit rate, but there were some moments where I was like, this isn't just not my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same way in The
fair.
Martian too.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it was even worse because I don't think Matt Damon was as good as delivering the lines as like Ryan Gosling could.
Another thing that didn't quite work is this movie's a little long. I felt it the second time around. It definitely is a little bit long. You can feel it. It's not like a super detriment, but it is. I mean, it's 2.5 hours long. You can definitely feel it at times. Jasmine, do you have anything that didn't work?
Yeah, kind of like on a little bit of both of your parts. There's a slight point with the emotions where I feel like they rush it and they could just hold certain scenes. Just like tiny nitpick of like, there's just certain emotional moments where I'm like, we could have just held this and not immediately cut into like the joke. But that really comes from the one scene. The only thing that doesn't quite make it for me is when Rocky saves Grace and he like goes back into his thing. I don't quite understand how he's still like alive.
Mm.
Because and that like through that scene we feel like Grace is trying to bring him back, but he doesn't know if he's alive or dead. He's not sure. So then we're obviously not sure. And then when he does come back, he's kind of just like fine. And I didn't quite understand. I was trying to be like, I'm like, okay, if he's volcanic rock, like he just had to get hot enough. I didn't.
It's
that was like
explained
one
a lot
thing
better in the book. The scene from
I
the
figured
book
that would
of
be the
that
case.
moment is I think a bit more detailed, and that was the one part that I wish they had kind of kept a little bit more faithful, because it has changed a little bit. But it is a much better moment in the book. It's the way it plays out and the way that it's explained. So that can definitely agree with that.
To go off the point you were making too, Jasmine, I know I talked about like the scene of him being told that he has to go to space. I really wish they didn't cut to, or like kind of cut that moment with him running away, like as a gag. Let that just be a super serious moment.
Yeah.
Like have them give him like the coma drug right there, and like the last thing he sees is Strat saying
sorry or something.
Not
like
even
that.
saying sorry, but like you'll be remembered as like a hero or something like that. Like she can't even say like sorry for it. I feel like that's a moment that doesn't need a joke, doesn't need a gag.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I agree.
And then for me, the last thing for me that didn't quite work was just the multiple endings on the rewatch. There were a couple points where you could definitely end it. I know they were being real faithful to the book. I was fine with it on the first watch. The second watch, I was more like, okay, you probably could have just cut it here. Like, I get what you were going for, but like it ends like 4 times. You just probably stop it.
Yeah. I got 2 more things.
Okay.
I wish that they used the past a bit more to tie into more relevant things that were happening in the present. Like they used it when he was discovering like the centrifuge or centripetal force on the ship, like going back to when he was like proposing it to the scientists. And I feel like that was one of the only moments when the past was used to kind of like jog his memory of or like revitalize his memory.
Yeah.
And then kind of sticking with the past, I wish we got more time with like the other members of the crew that died, just so those deaths meant a little more to us.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. I mean, with the movie there's so much, and I think they made the right choice in like having the focus be on Rocky and Grace and their relationship. But I think you're right too, a little bit more of those people. But like when you're adapting a book like that, like those are the hard choices that you have to cut.
Yeah, but like when the scientist dies, if you don't catch shit in like a line of dialogue, like passing dialogue, you don't even know that the scientist is the one who died in that explosion.
Yeah.
Or both scientists, actually.
Both scientists, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, don't they have a backup? That was my other thought. I was like, why is it just immediately let's go to him? But
yeah, they just say
it's
it like
another thing in the book that's fleshed out a lot more. But again, it's it's that like you're adapting a book that takes 10 hours to read, and you have to put it into a 2.5 hour film. What do you keep? What do you cut?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Me personally, I'd probably get rid of the scene of him getting drunk in the beginning.
Yeah, I can see that. Anything else that didn't work? All right, let's go to best moments. I've got a few for you. The flashbacks, all of those flashbacks to Earth, I think are done well. But specifically, I like the first scene in the classroom where they explain, you get that backstory and the explaining of the Petrova line and stuff like that. It's really well done. Meeting Rocky for the first time, it's great. Rocky coming to the ship in his ball is really fun. Fishing for Talmiba is an incredible sequence. But really the winner for me is the shot switching from the shot of Adrian to the Petrovoscope. Might be one of the best sci-fi shots of the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Any other nominees for best moment?
Nope.
Okay.
Got mine. Yeah.
Let's move on then. Heat check. I've got one for you. Or actually, hold on.
I got two.
Connor, it's your choice category.
Oh. So this is a new one. And I want to shout out, I don't know if they came up with it first, but it's from the Ringer Fantasy Football Pod.
Okay.
They bring it up a lot. Sliding doors moment. It's the one insignificant moment that changes the course of history.
Okay.
And it's Ryland Grace calling that one scientist a dickhead in his dissertation that gets him kicked out and discredited from the science community that forces him to become a middle school teacher.
Yeah. And then that kind of puts him on the path to being the savior of humanity.
Exactly.
That's great. I love that. That's really good. I'm adding that in as one of our optional categories. History. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it is true. He kind of is like, that's the whole reason that Strat goes to him in the first place. So it's good. Okay, heat check. I've got Orion Lee as Dr. Lee, the guy from the council.
Yeah.
Where
Whoop,
he's
there it is.
Whoop, there
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yep. He's like, yeah, Dr. Grace's methods were amateurish at best. And then it ends it with like, yeah, man, we're buddies. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah. I agree.
It's so funny.
I also have Lionel Boyce as Carl.
Carl's really good. I felt like he was maybe in it a little too much.
I would say they're in about the same amount.
But yeah, he's really good. All right. Jasmine, do you have anyone, or was Dr. Lee the one?
It was Dr. Lee because that moment was too funny to me.
It was good.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a new category that we haven't done yet. The Wayne's World Gratuitous Product Placement Award for roping in Reynolds Wrap into this movie. I'm not sure how they did it, but they put Reynolds Wrap in the scene where they're buying all the duct tape, and they go bowling with the duct tape, and there's a whole thing of Reynolds Wrap, and you see the logo very clearly on the screen. I don't know how they do it. It's good stuff.
I was going to say, what about Skittles?
Skittles too.
That was
really
mine.
Good.
They bought like 300 bags of Skittles for everyone.
Yeah.
Skittles is good too. All right. Before we get to this next category, Jasmine, I'll do your flex category or your choice category.
Yeah. The Del Griffith, who would you want to spend a long road trip with award from reasonable_toe_9252 on Reddit.
Fantastic.
Obviously I want to spend it with Ryland Grace. I don't even want to talk to him though. That's the thing. I just want to observe him.
Want to hang out.
Yeah. I know like the idea would be like, oh, you'd want to bring Rocky. No, that would be a nightmare scenario. I would definitely want to just sit there and exist next to him. Yep.
Ryan Gosling.
Well, yeah.
Yep. But specifically Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace.
There you go.
Without him, you can't communicate to Rocky. All you hear is the reverb.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. I knew someone was going to take that. Okay, here's a new category, brand new. I think I'm going to keep in for every week. It's called It's Never Been Cooler. So here's a list of things that I've come up with from this movie that I think have never been cooler, and we can discuss them. Space movies have never been cooler than Project Hail Mary. Agree or disagree?
I mean, I feel like when Star Wars came out, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. Ryan Gosling has never been cooler.
Disagree. I feel like he's had his moments. He had his whole
one of the moments.
There was a whole like TikTok trend of like he's so me or like I'm literally him, where it's just like he's like not even being like the Drive or like the Place Beyond the Pines stoic character. It's just like him from The Nice Guys or Barbie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say Barbie, like right there.
Yeah. The bleach Ryan Gosling. I'm so
Ken.
sorry. Like, yeah. Yep. My boyfriend literally bleached his hair because of it.
That's hilarious. Okay.
How many people do you think bought a I'm Knuff hoodie?
I have it. I should wear it.
One.
That's really good.
We got one of 3 right here.
Today was the day to wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
The like officially licensed one too, not one of the like Etsy knockoffs.
Wow.
It's actually I'm Knuff.
All right. Little alien sidekicks. It's never been cooler.
Agreed.
Agree.
E.T. dead in a ditch.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Jeez. All right. Here's another one for you. Harry Styles' Sign of the Times have never been cooler than it when it was used in this movie.
Disagree.
I feel like it was. It was a moment when it came out.
Well, I'm kind of aligned with that fandom, and I will say there is an edit on YouTube of Sign of the Times, like the video, and it's played over Dunkirk, the scene in Dunkirk where they're all looking up, and he's like flying over. That's it's like a 30-second. Yeah, 30-second, like 420 pixel video. It's terrible, but that's the coolest it's ever been.
I'm pretty sure there's like a not even a collab, but it's just like an edit like that where it's just like Sign of the Times, like the greatest, and then like a Taylor Swift song, like all mashed together. Goes kind of crazy.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. How about microbiology? Has never been cooler.
I mean,
you can have that one. There we go. You can have that one. Yep.
Hamster wheels as transportation. Never been cooler.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
I agreed.
This one's a bit of a question mark. World peace in movies?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. World peace. Never been cooler than in Project Hail Mary. All right, that's that category. I kind of like that one. I'm probably gonna keep in. All right, it's time for my choice category here.
You've had like 6.
Yeah, I pulled in a bunch. Well, I had to replace a lot, so I pulled in a few. But this is my real choice category. This is the Evil Dead Is This Situation Actually That Hard to Get Out Of category from African Rain on Reddit. Couldn't they just have bred or discovered a predator of astrophage on Earth? Like, you think all of the scientists in the world are working on this? You think one person would have been like, well, why don't we try and see if something will eat this? I bet you there's something. Guaranteed.
Clearly not if it's not dying in their atmosphere.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be something in their well, no, because it's not in the astrophage isn't going to their atmosphere. It's brought
into Earth and it's not dying.
Yeah, but it's brought into Earth and then put in laboratories that are like super sterile. Like they filled the room that Grace was in with argon.
But not every room is full of argon.
Yeah, but there has to be something like in like the Sahara or like deep in the jungle that like, yeah, this amoeba will actually kill this thing. There has to be.
Probably not. I mean,
probably
it's not like War of the Worlds where it's just like, hey, what can kill this alien? Birds.
Water. Oh. That's my choice category. All right, hot takes. Who wants to start? I've got a doozy.
I got 2.
Okay.
You kind of mentioned mine. My hot take is just that I think he's the coolest alien in space.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Better than Yoda. Better than E.T.
Is Yoda cool, or is he kind of just
okay? Yoda's pretty cool.
He's cool in certain movies.
That's the thing. He's cool when he's like flipping around and shit, but when he's just kind of
he's
like
cool in Empire.
I was gonna say he's cool in Empire when he's a puppet.
Yeah.
He's less
certain
cool
times.
when he's yeah.
I think he's cool all the time.
All right,
It's Yoda, man. It's Yoda. All right. I'll go with my hot take. Project Hail Mary is by far a better movie than Interstellar, and it's not close.
You know what? I'll co-sign that.
Yep. It's not
I'll
close.
co-sign it.
I think people should stop. I mean, I get why they make the comparison. It's kind of like, two space voyages to save Earth. But like they're trying to do two separate things. I mean, obviously that's a way more serious movie than this one. Like this one knows how to have more fun with it. But
yeah,
I mean, I get it. It's like,
plus this is also like, oh, I need to save Earth because of people I care about on Earth, and like Ryland Grace has no one he cares about on Earth.
Yeah,
he's doing it because he doesn't even want to do it.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a choice.
I mean,
no, I much prefer this than Interstellar.
Yeah.
Connor, you have two hot takes.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Interstellar. I think the fishing scene is on par with the docking scene. Just white knuckle, stressed, lock in. You are leaning, full recline. That moment comes on. I am sitting up.
Yep.
If I have to pee, it can wait.
Absolutely.
If I hear a noise in the theater, I will make a scene.
Oh my God. Yesterday at my showing, the guy that was sitting next to me throughout the whole movie kept doing that like half clear your throat, like like the entire film. It's like, dude, just fucking drink some water or get it over with.
Just
like,
don't cough out.
It was like every like 4 or 5 minutes, it was just like it's like shut up. Trying to watch Ryan Gosling and an alien.
My second hot take. Ryan Gosling needs to be in a Muppets movie. Like the way he bounces off a puppet.
I like that.
I think he could be like the next Michael Caine or why am I forgetting his name? Tim Curry.
There you go.
Yes.
Just like someone who like is just an elite Muppet actor. Even Jason Segel.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. All right, prop time. Who wants to go?
Whoever goes, I know what you're taking first.
Connor, go ahead. You alluded to it earlier.
Well, I want the hat, but
yeah, okay.
Because
I
can
okay. That's not.
I want Rocky. That's one. I just don't know if he's gonna get along with Nate. I'm afraid he's just gonna like run him over.
Yeah.
But because I can just buy the hat, I'm not gonna pick the hat. I'm gonna take his entire collection of ironic science T-shirts.
Oh, you know what? That's good. That's good. Jasmine, what about you? What are you taking?
I want Rocky's ball, actually.
Oh, the hamster wheel. Yes.
Yeah, I'm putting my dogs in it. That's it.
I put Nathan in that thing. He might like break down a door.
Go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm curious. I just want to know how it would go.
I want the Xenonite models of Grayson, the Project Hail Mary that Rocky makes at the beginning.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Nobody
And he's like, it's such an underrated moment too. Anytime he's doing the puppet show and Grace is like, I have no idea what you're saying, it hits every time.
Yeah, I love
the pointing
shows.
one is so good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you like tapping? Yeah, you like tapping, and then he's like, no. It's like, oh, you weren't tapping. It's so good. All right, MVP of the movie coming down to the end here. Who's your MVP? My MVP is Ryan Gosling.
I have a split vote. I'm a house divided.
Go ahead.
It's Greg Fraser and Daniel Pemberton for the sound and score, or the sound and
Interesting.
cinematography. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I was
Interesting.
teleported.
I like that.
Yeah. No, my MVP is Ryan Gosling. I'm a sucker for
He
him.
carries this movie.
Yeah.
All right, final scores time. Connor, I'll start with you. What is your final score for Project Hail Mary?
So this is just such a fun movie. I think it's going to be probably one of the more rewatchable movies of the year too. I mean, if it was just a little shorter, I do think it would probably be the most rewatchable movie of the year. But I mean, it is kind of like a commitment at like 2.5 hours. But it's so much fun. It's funny. Um, it for the most part nails its emotional moments. They are kind of undercut, but I mean, this is just it's the first must see movie of the year, and Ryan Gosling is a fucking star in it. I'm giving it a 4.5.
4.5. Wow.
That's not my category. That's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not your box. Jasmine, what about you?
I'm going 4.8. I love this movie. I think that like the fact that it's essentially like cynicism free, if that makes sense, in the way it's like presented, and just it's so heartwarming. I genuinely was in like a good mood the next day after seeing it. It's like hope core at its finest. Yeah, I love this movie. I have the tiniest nitpicks, but nothing that stops me from keeping it at that high 4.8. So yeah.
I think it's a movie we all need.
Yeah, you know what? That's really true. I'm going with a 4.75. For much of the same reasons. You know, I have some slight nitpicks upon a second rewatch that you know, I would probably do differently. But it's an amazing ride. It's really fun. It goes down smooth. The characters are great. The story is great. It looks great. It sounds great. Like, it's a really well done movie. And it's going to be one of my favorites of the year. I already know.
Yeah.
So that puts us at an average score of 4.68, which is number 8 on our list.
Wow.
Right above Pride and Prejudice from 2005 and right below Sinners. So that is where that lies, and that is going to do it for this episode of the Film Box podcast. Next week we are finishing out Best Picture month by talking about my choice, Spotlight. Yes. I'm looking forward to this one. So tune in next week. If you like this episode, you know, leave a rating, subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Tell your friends about the pod. It really helps us out. Lets us know we're doing a good job. You can go to our socials. Those will be linked in the show notes. You can also go to our brand new Substack, which is kind of taking the place of our website, which we are kind of retiring a little bit. We're moving to the Substack game. A lot of our articles over the last few years have been imported into Substack, so you can see an entire archive of things that we've written. And also, we're going to have some new stuff coming out, some reviews, maybe some features, some thought pieces, lists, you know, all that kind of stuff. So check out the Film Box Substack. That'll be in the show notes. And yeah, go to our Letterboxd accounts too. Follow Jasmine on TikTok. You know that she makes great content. You know, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. And yeah, you can follow our Letterboxd to stay up to date on what we're watching when we're watching it. You don't have to wait for each episode to see what we're watching. And with that said, that is going to do it for this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.